People who do not remember their history, their geography is also lost.
What do you think is the relevance of Savarkar in today's time? And why do you think that the time for Savarkar has come now and not earlier?
I would like to thank you and Aham Monica ji for your kind invitation. And it's a joy to sit in the company of an author like Mr. Vikram Sampath and to speak to this great audience. You are asking me about the relevance, what is the relevance of Veer Savarkar. We must always remember the importance of the study of history. I always say this, that there are many other species of living beings. What differentiates human beings from other species? It is the consciousness of history. You go to some remote area even today, people living there, they hunt the lion using the same methodology which was used by their ancestors 500, 600 years or 1000 years back. But the methodology to kill the human being has always changed. And in recent times, in fact, it has become, the world is moving so fast that it does not take even 100 years that it used to take in earlier times. It is changing by every 10 years, 5 years, and now we have reached a stage where physical combat is hardly necessary. You can do it even from remote distance. So if I use, because this is Hyderabad, there should be no difficulty in understanding it, a couplet which says, जो कौम भुला देती है तारीख को अपनी, उस कौम का जोग्राफिया बाकी नहीं रहता. People who do not remember their history, their geography is also lost. That is the importance of history. And when we study the history, it is not necessary that we study only those. In fact, we cannot develop a historical view if we confine our studies to only those whom we like or adore. We need to develop a holistic historical attitude. And holistic attitude will come when you are ready to study even those with whom you disagree. And you can, I'm so happy that you have not asked me to give a speech. I was preparing since this morning. I'm so happy you did not ask me. But since I have been working hard since morning, so I will use something from there that I was going to start my speech by saying that for argument's sake, I accept every charge, every criticism which is made against Veer Savarkar. And then I asked this question, that if you find him so, I'm not going to use the words which they use, but if you find him so unacceptable, even then it is your duty to read about him. So Basically, your question relates and relevance of Savarkar, Veer Savarkar. I think that is today beyond doubt. He has been criticized, he has been derogatory, insulting, things have been said about him. False cases were framed, he was framed in false cases, he was exonerated by the court of law, and very harsh criticism is there. You heap so much criticism, you paint somebody as a villain, and then he is attracting so many people. What does that mean? And it was not only some people who adhere to certain ideology, but one cannot dismiss the aspect that even government of the day, government for quite long period of time, was also a party to that campaign against Veer Savarkar. Always remember, unfair criticism is often a blessing in disguise. Nobody kicks a dead dog. Veer Savarkar has not been in power at any point. He was not even elected to any, he did not hold even any elected office. But if he is still alive in the memories of the people, there must be some reason. Naturally, he had no avenue available for the project of his personality, but nobody could suppress the ideas, original ideas which he came with. It is the power, it is the force of his ideas which has kept him alive despite the vilification campaigns. Go to Indonesia and you see outside the once our first ambassador to Indonesia, Muhammad Yunus Saab, himself told me that when he was ambassador, because people knew him as very close to the Prime Minister Pandit Nehru, and Sukarno was personal friend of Panditji. So many times he will ask him to accompany him to his political rallies. He was an ambassador, but he will sit there. And one day he asked him that in your speeches you repeatedly refer to Bhim and Arjun, Bhim and Arjun, Bhim and Arjun. I said, what does that mean? He said, you don't know Bhim and Arjun? And if you are referring to Mahabharata characters, yes, I know them. Yes, I am referring to them. And what do you say? I tell them that last 200 years, because under political slavery, under foreign rule, you have lost the sense of dignity. You have lost the sense of national pride. You have forgotten that you are progeny of Arjun and Bhim. And in order to arouse that sense of dignity as Indonesians, I appeal to them in the name of their ancestors to realize their worth. So when a people have fallen, this is a fact of life. Go anywhere and you can see it. When a people have fallen, they have gone through bad times. They have lost that sense of national pride. Then the heroes of your glorious period, they are invoked to revive that sense of national pride in you, which is so absolutely essential to march on the path of development and progress. Savarkar did that. And I hope that is enough to understand the relevance of Savarkar.